Hey everyone, I'm out here in the garage with the trusty Acura RL here. So I'm doing another video on the Acura RL. So my relative that has the Infiniti G35X, I was going to do some work on that car, but she's a bit older, so she's been staying home recently with all the stuff that's been going on. So I'm going to be working on this car today. I have some other videos planned besides working on the RL. I may do some Acura Legend videos. I may also do some videos on some other topics related to automotive repair and maintenance. So stay tuned for that. So something that I've been putting off for a while is replacing one of the bulbs in the instrument cluster. So that's what we're going to be doing today. So stay tuned. Alright, so before we can start removing the instrument cluster, check out the video that I did on removing the stereo, because that'll get you partway through this procedure. And then you'll just pick up from there. Okay, so the bulb that I need to replace in the instrument cluster is the D4 bulb. And I figure most people out there probably have had some issue with that bulb at some point in time, because that's the mode that most of us drive in, is in fourth gear. So I'm going to go ahead and shift through the gears so you can see that that bulb is actually out. So I'm in park right now. There's reverse, neutral, no D4. There's D3. There's 2, and there's 1. So let's go ahead and get into replacing the bulb. Alright, so this dashboard lower cover has to come off. So there are clips all over the place. I'll show you where the clips are located once I get the cover off, but we're going to start first of all. I have this plastic pry tool here. There's a clip right over here. I can reach it. There's one. There's one more above it, right there. And then there are 2 more up here. And then there are a couple on the other side. So there's a clip right up here also. Alright, so then just go ahead and pull this over the ignition switch there. There we go. So it's a little bit nerve-wracking to pull all these clips off, because you hear a lot of stuff popping and the little metal clips are all falling off. There's one right there. So I'm going to make sure I find all those before I put it back in. Alright, so there's an SRS connection right there, supplemental restraint system connection. I'm going to leave that alone. I haven't disconnected the battery or anything, so I'm not going to touch it. Okay, so next I'm going to remove this switch trim here. There's a number 2 Phillips right there. Go ahead and unscrew that. Alright. And then just pull this out. Whoa. A little precarious taking these things out. Never sure what's going to break or snap or whatever, but there's a lot of clips and I can hear a lot of things falling. So I'll just have to make sure I find them all. Alright, so there are 2 Phillips screws. There's one here and one right there. Those are number 2 Phillips. Those need to be removed. Got my stubby screwdriver here. Alright, so now that we've got the 2 screws out, we can go ahead and pop this out. There are 4 clips. You may be able to see them from underneath. There's one right over here, and then I think 2 in this area, and then 1 right over here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a plastic pry tool, and you may also want to put a little bit of painter's tape on this, because you're going to have to get between this instrument cluster and part of the dash here. I've got a plastic pry tool. I'm just going to get right under here, hopefully. Pop that out. There's one. There are 2 more, like I said, in the center. So I think I've got 2 of the clips out. Alright, so I'm just going to pull on this side. Hopefully I don't break something here. I don't think I will. So I heard something snap back here. Yep, that's out. So I think there's just this one last clip over here somewhere. Yep, it's right here. Right in this vicinity here. There we go. Alright, so there is a clip here. I just press up on this and then pull out at the same time. So it looks like I got all the clips released except for this one up here. So you pull the top down first, and then this side over here. And then get that clip out of there. There we go. Hopefully I can get this out all the way. There we go. Okay, just slide it to the right. And there is a connector right there. Let's take that off. Okay, so this whole front facing is off now. That is quite the ordeal to get that out. Alright, so there are 4 screws I need to remove. There's 2 on this side and 2 on that side. They're Phillips screws, number 2. Alright, we should be able to just pull this out now. And of course there are some connectors back there. You probably can't see those right now. I'll show those in a second here. There we go. So the second one's off. And there is our instrument cluster. Alright, so I've got the instrument cluster on the bench here, and I notice it's pretty dirty, so I'm going to use a microfiber towel to just clean it up a little bit. Just wipe it off. Okay, it looks a little better. Additionally, I have some Meguiar's M205 here. It's an ultra finishing polish. I use this quite a bit when I'm polishing cars. So I'm going to put some of that on this towel. It actually works pretty well on plastics. Let's put a little bit on there. I'm not doing a serious polish or anything. I just want to get some of these scratches out of here. Alright, we'll let that dry a little bit. Then I'll just take a dry side of the microfiber cloth and just buff this out. Okay, not too bad. Alright, so next what we're going to do is go ahead and flip this over. And there are 3 screws. There's one here, one there, one there. Those are number 2 Phillips. There's one. And here is the second one. And the third one. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and take this back cover off. Now there is some, you can see this foam back here. You can peel this off. So just kind of gradually peel that like that, and that'll come off. So then there are some clips. There's 3 on the bottom. There's one right there. Pop that loose. There's one down here. Just lift this up. Pop this loose. A small screwdriver will work. Just like that. Okay, and there's our circuit board in the back. I'm going to remove this microfiber cloth because I don't want to have any static generated here. Okay. And the bulb we are after is a 4th one down. So I'm just going to try to pull it out here. Like that. There it is. And we're going to take this one out for the first gear. Put that in here temporarily for our D4. I'm going to put this down here since I never use first gear. My bulbs should be coming in. I think they'll be here tomorrow. I just ordered them a little bit late. Okay, so I'm going to put the cover back on. I kind of ruined this, but that would fold back up. So you'd fold this back up here. So I may go buy some more foam tape or something and put that on here. We've got our 3 screws we need to put back in also. Alright, so let's go ahead and put this back in the car and see if it's working. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and put the cluster back in. So I'm just going to put it in this way. And we've got to put these 2 connectors in the top. It's going to be really hard to see. It's one. Oh geez, that was a tough connector. Okay. Alright, so let's check to see if our D4 light is back on. Should be. Alright, we go ahead and switch over to D4. You saw the light flash on for a second there, hopefully. There we go, D4 is there. Alright, so what we're going to do now is just continue putting everything back together. So let's get on that next. Alright, so when you put the cluster back in, you want to make sure you route this small cable over to the right. So let's go ahead and slide this in. I think that should be far enough there. Put my screws in. There's 4 of them. There's a second one. Alright, so we've got this back in. Alright, so I'm going to slide this bezel in now. That comes in this way. And there's our connector on the right hand side. I'm going to connect that back over here. Sorry, I'm not able to give you many angles here. It's very tight in here. Okay, that's in finally. Okay. So you just come in, tilt it up like that, and then slide it back. It should pop in place here. Let me get the tape off before I get it stuck. Alright, looks like it's back in. That took some work. We'll put our 2 screws back in the top. Here's our second screw. Alright, so let's go ahead and put this trim back in. So the hooks, there are a couple hooks right here. Hook those in first, I would say. Alright, then there is a screw that goes right down there. Okay. Alright, so then we'll put the lower cover back on. There's just a bunch of clips holding it on. Let's start on this side. Alright, so the last thing to do here is just to put your center console back in. So follow the video for removing the stereo. That should show you how to do that. And that's it. Alright, so there you have it. There's a procedure for replacing the instrument cluster bulbs. So it was a little bit difficult to film in there because of the steering wheel being in the way, and then also getting the right camera angles. So I'm hoping that came across and we were able to glean some good information out of this video. So I would definitely recommend taking your time. I had a little bit of trouble with the bezel for the instrument cluster. I was a little bit afraid of pulling too hard on that and breaking something, but it came off fairly easily once I got a couple of the clips out. So hopefully this information was helpful, and thanks for watching.